Hello, my name is Neely Persich. I am a Gold Belt shareholder and an employee. Here's how to vote using your paper proxy. If you've opted for electronic delivery on My Gold Belt, you will only receive a proxy card and return envelope in the mail. The annual report and proxy statement will be available on the election connection at mygoldbelt.com. If you have not selected electronic delivery, you will receive the annual report, proxy statement, proxy card, and return envelope delivered to the address on file. It is important to note that each shareholder in your household will receive their own packet based on their account information. The proxy card is front and back. On the front side of the proxy, your individual shareholder information is printed on the top. You will see your shareholder ID, the number of shares you own, and your number of votes. On the back of the proxy, at the bottom of the page, you will see the same information, plus your name and address. Ensure this information is correct. Your first step is to choose how you want your votes designated. You can use your votes in one of three ways. Option 1 is directed. Voting directed allows you to vote for the candidate or candidates of your choosing by writing in the exact number of votes you want to direct to each candidate by their picture. Option 2, quorum only. You may put your votes toward quorum if you do not wish to put any of your votes toward a particular candidate, but still want to participate in the election. Option 3 is discretionary. Gold Belt hasn't used discretionary votes since 1994. Discretionary votes would only be used in the rare event that proxy holders of a non-Gold Belt proxy choose to use discretionary votes. To learn more about your voting options, review the back of the proxy card. It is important that you sign and date your proxy card. Your proxy card will not be considered complete or valid unless you sign within the red box. After designating your vote and signing the proxy, you may select to donate your proxy incentive if you wish. You may select one or more of the eligible organizations to receive your proxy incentive by checking the box next to the organization's name. Great job! Now that you're done, don't forget to mail the proxy card using the prepaid return envelope provided. Ganun cheesh!
Hi, I'm Guy Bean, Gold Belt shareholder and employee. This is how you vote online at goldbeltvote.com. First, use your smartphone, tablet, or computer and go to goldbeltvote.com. To log in, use your shareholder ID. You can find it on your profile at mygoldbelt.com. Then enter the last 4 digits of your social security number, then click login. Your first step is to choose how you want to vote. You can use your votes in one of 3 ways. Option 1 would be directed. In order to vote directed, select the box that says directed. You may vote directed for the candidate or candidates of your choosing by typing in the exact number of votes you want to direct to each candidate. If you want to distribute your votes equally between candidates, check the box by the candidate's name you wish to include in your vote distribution. Then click Distribute Votes. After you direct your votes, then click Next. Option 2, Quorum Only. In order to vote quorum, select the box that says Quorum Only. You may put your votes towards quorum if you do not wish to put any of your votes towards a particular candidate but still want to participate in the election. Option 3, discretionary. Goldbelt hasn't used discretionary votes since 1994. Discretionary votes would only be used in the rare event the proxy holders of a non-Goldbelt proxy elect to use discretionary votes. To learn more about your voting options, review your proxy statement on the Election Connection page at mygoldbelt.com. After selecting how you vote, you may select to donate your proxy incentive if you wish. You may select one or more of the eligible organizations to receive your proxy incentive by checking the box next to the organization's name. Good job! In order to complete the process, click Vote in the bottom right-hand corner to officially submit your proxy. When your proxy is submitted, a confirmation will be automatically emailed to the email address associated with your MyGoldBelt account. Thank you for voting.
Good afternoon and welcome to the President and CEO update, our live stream that we're doing for the third time. This is the second year. My name is McHugh Pierre and I'm the President and CEO at Gold Belt, and we're excited to talk about what's happening at your company. We've had a busy couple of years. We're out of the pandemic and we're starting to find our new normal, our new equilibrium in business activity and in life. And it's exciting to see where we're landing and how we're going to move forward from this point. So I'd like to go to the next slide before we talk about financials. We need to talk about the election cycle. We're going to have a number of opportunities to vote and review some of the proxy materials. The annual meeting is on July 8th. And so just like the last couple of years, we'll have a combination of online and paper voting. You can come and drop off your ballot at the Gold Belt headquarters at 3025 Clinton Drive in Juneau, or you can go online and vote that way. It's important that you do vote because we need to have everyone's participation. So legally, we need a quorum so we can conduct business, but we also want you to get your voting incentive. Don't forget, it's $100 per person who votes, and the first payments are going to be made on Friday in 2 days. So with that, if you're not sure how to vote online, we've got a video that will show you how. Let's roll the video.
Guy Bean, Gold Belt shareholder and employee. This is how you vote online at goldbeltvote.com. First, use your smartphone, tablet, or computer and go to goldbeltvote.com. To log in, use your shareholder ID. You can find it on your profile at mygoldbelt.com. Then enter the last 4 digits of your social security number, then click login. Your first step is to choose how you want to vote. You can use your votes in one of 3 ways. Option 1 would be directed. In order to vote directed, select the box that says directed. You may vote directed for the candidate or candidates of your choosing by typing in the exact number of votes you want to direct to each candidate. If you want to distribute your votes equally between candidates, check the box by the candidate's name you wish to include in your vote distribution. Then click Distribute Votes. After you direct your votes, then click Next. Option 2, Quorum Only. In order to vote quorum, select the box that says Quorum Only. You may put your votes towards quorum if you do not wish to put any of your votes towards a particular candidate, but still want to participate in the election. Option 3, Discretionary. Gold Belt hasn't used discretionary votes since 1994. Discretionary votes would only be used in the rare event the proxy holders of a non-Gold Belt proxy elect to use discretionary votes. To learn more about your voting options, review your proxy statement on the Election Connection page at mygoldbelt.com. After selecting how you vote, you may select to donate your proxy incentive if you wish. You may select one or more of the eligible organizations to receive your proxy incentive by checking the box next to the organization's name. Good job! In order to complete the process, click Vote in the bottom right-hand corner to officially submit your proxy. When your proxy is submitted, a confirmation will be automatically emailed to the email address associated with your My Gold Belt account. Thank you for voting.
Thank you for the instructions, Guy. I just want to let everybody know that you can change your vote as many times as you like, but you only get the voting incentive for the first time that you vote. So make sure to do it early, do it soon, and think about who the best candidate that represents you and vote for that person. So voting opened up on May 19th. And so far we've had more than 1,200 shareholders vote. That's more than 30% of our population. So we need to get a quorum to conduct business, and we are well on our way. I also want to acknowledge Neely Perisic. She has done such a great job in her video as well. If you were on early and waiting for the webcast to start, you got to see Neely's video, you got to see Guy's video, and they're also available at mygoldbelt.com. They're so instructional and they're so well done. Both Neely and Guy are terrific on camera. I think they've got bright futures ahead. I know that one shareholder in particular, Mary Lekanoff, said, if she didn't see a picture of my baby, she wasn't going to vote. Well, Mary, here you go. This is for you. This is my daughter, Elodie. She's sitting on the dining room table. She's learning how to sit up in that special up seat. And so now you've got no excuse not to vote. Get out there and vote, Mary. And I look forward to seeing you around town. Let's go to the next slide. So when you look through all of our annual mail material, you see, all of the options and ways that you can get your information. It was mailed out to everybody on May 19th. It's available at mygoldbelt.com. And, it's important that you read and consume all the information. And I will talk about some of that with you today. But there's one more note we have to make. Director Leilani Wilson-Walkush announced that she has withdrawn from the election. She will not seek re-election. So she is not on the proxy card. And as you go to cast your ballots, you may see that she was in the proxy statement, but not on the proxy card. And that just happened to be around the timing that she notified us. So she notified the inspector of election and she notified Gold Belt after the proxy statement was printed, but before the proxy card was printed. So we were able to make that update. And we just want to say thank you so much for your service, for your 6 years of hard work, your dedication to Gold Belt. And just because someone's not on the board doesn't mean they're not involved. All of you as owners have a voice and we listen to you. And it's important that you continue to maintain your awareness and your contributions to Gold Belt, whether as an owner or a shareholder volunteering for something or as a director. So we just thank you again, Leilani, for your service. It's been a pleasure working with you. Let's go to the next slide. So here's our agenda. We'll talk about some financials. We'll talk about some business opportunities, and we'll have door prizes. Maybe the most important part. How is this different from what you saw at the spring meetings? We did go and visit Anchorage and Seattle, and we had a meeting in Juneau. Well, we've got a little updated information about this current year, but I'm going to touch on some of the information we shared at those meetings. Not everyone was able to make it, and we know that this is a great way to reach a wide audience of our shareholders. Many people can, view this video live today, but also on goldbelt.com and through Gold Belt's YouTube page. Next slide, please. So here's what we're looking at for 2023. You can see how we've grown dramatically through the pandemic. We were able to reach just under 500 million in revenue in 2021, which was terrific. And a lot of that was due to one-time COVID sales. So as you know, we sold 1/3 of the needles and syringes to the federal government for the vaccination effort. And some of those contracts, because they were so large, that provided a big hole to fill because we knew we weren't going to have that reoccurring revenue. So what we did as a leadership team was we worked to fill that gap. And we were able to fill about half of it with reoccurring revenue. So you see, we dropped down to 404 million in revenue in 2022, but that doesn't mean the company is declining. That means the company is maintaining its strong performance, building on its expertise, and growing additional contracts that are reoccurring revenue, service-focused contracts that will provide year-over-year growth and maintain the expectation that we've come accustomed to for growth at Gold Belt. 2022 was our second best year ever, and that's pretty phenomenal to talk about. We did 404 million in revenue. We did almost 21 million in net income. And it's important to think about the fact that we only took a $4 million drop in our operating income when we took a $96 million drop in our revenue. That means that we are operating a very efficient, lean, and effective business where we don't waste a lot of money on overhead. We harvest as much of our revenue into income so we can pay benefits for shareholders. And so where does it look going forward? In 2023, we're projecting to do 430 million in revenue, which is why you see the arrow going back up on the chart. And we expect to achieve 25 million in net income. Those are all great steps, and that would make it our second best year ever. And we're looking forward to achieving our bigger goal of continuously being above 500 million and marching our way towards $1 billion in revenue annually. Next slide, please. So when we look at our net income to our operating income, it's important to recognize this because we've used all of our net operating losses from the logging timber days. Because that is gone, now we have to pay a full tax bill to Uncle Sam. And that's our full tax bill in 2022 would have been $7 million. That's a lot of money to pay in taxes. That's a good problem to have because we're doing well and we're making more money. But our goal is to utilize all of the tools to offset those taxes as much as possible. And contributing to our trusts is the main tool that we have. By contributing to the ancestral trust and by contributing to the Tanakh trust for distributions, it allows us to offset our taxes, get benefits to you that are tax-free as well from the federal government anyway. Your state may tax it if you have a state income tax, but that allows us to lower your taxable burden, lower Gold Belt's taxable burden, and it allows everybody to win through the process. Our philosophy at Gold Belt, the board of directors has been very keen in making sure that you have the most amount of flexibility with your resources and that we invest in shareholders for a long-term return, not just something that happens today, but it helps you today, tomorrow, and it helps your future generations and your family members for years to come. Let's go to the next slide, please. For us to do that, we have to have a strong balance sheet. We need to build our equity. We cannot borrow if we don't have a strong balance sheet. We can't expand our business. We have to have assets to borrow against. And you can see that we've done a great job. The board of directors in 2018, going into 2019, set a goal as part of its strategic plan saying, we want to incrementally grow the equity of the company. And we've been able to do that. You can see 2019 to 2022, we went from 45 million in equity in 2018 up to 81 million in 2022. And in 2023, we expect to be at 90 million in equity for the company. Now that's great, but we've also taken money that Gold Belt has earned and contributed it to the ancestral trust. And so that money would have otherwise gone to our equity, but instead we took it out of Gold Belt Inc., put it into the Gold Belt Ancestral Trust, which is a separate legal entity, and that builds the equity in that trust, that endowment. Next slide, we'll talk about that. So you can see we've made some significant contributions, more than $10 million in 2021 and in 2022 for more than $20 million. So if you see like our equity, that would have put us up to 100 million in equity. But we're putting it in the ancestral trust because our goal long-term is to have the trust reach a principal of 30 million where it can start spinning off income from that money and start paying benefits to you on an annual basis. So the Gold Belt Board of Directors thinks that 30 million is the right amount of money because it's a sustainable amount that will kick off enough for about a $5 dividend, but it will also allow it to inflation-proof and grow the fund on top of that. And we're very close. We believe that at the end of 2023, we will reach the 30 million mark and we'll have all of 2024 for that fund to perform and start paying out benefits. Now, the goal is that we'll have a spring distribution from the Ancestral Trust based on that interest earning. And then we'll have a fall distribution from Gold Belt Inc. that will be around our operations from the year. And a lot of shareholders say, well, McHugh, why don't we have a distribution in the spring from Gold Belt Inc. from your operations? It's because we don't really know what the level of business performance will be. Yes, we have a strong business line and we have consistent revenues and income, but it's not guaranteed. And we don't want to make any detrimental moves in the spring that will hurt us in the fall or maybe even hurt us in the year to come by distributing too much money and impacting the business negatively. We take this fiduciary responsibility very seriously. And I can tell you that the board of directors and myself with the management team coordinate very thoughtfully to reduce risk, to maximize performance, and allow you to have consistent, dependable benefits. Next slide, please. And we do that, we do all of that by making sure we have a robust, responsible business. And so in Alaska, we're talking about, what are we going to do to maintain our business presence and grow our opportunities, not only for shareholder employment, but to make a better community. And so we know that signing that MOU with Governor Dunleavy in March was a very important first step to get Cascade Point developed. We've been going back and forth trying to make this ferry terminal a reality, and now we are on the path. The state of Alaska Department of Transportation wants to use the federal infrastructure money to help build that out, and we're looking forward to leasing land to them to get a permanent solution there so we can have day boat daily service from Juneau to Haines and Skagway. It would be lower cost, To us as passengers, it'd be lower cost to the system to operate, because you're not going to have crews staying overnight when it's a day boat, and it's something that we can count on. It'll be consistent, so we can plan to drive up north, or we can plan to ship something into Juneau by putting it on the ferry. And those are all important things to make our community stronger. We're also working with the Marine Highway Service to provide a hub and spoke ferry system where Gold Belt and Allen Marine will offer catamaran service to small villages. And that way it's a lower cost, it's frequent, it's something villagers can depend on to get to hub communities for medical service and just for other business needs. But it will also allow that savings to be spread across the system. So you'll get more service in more places, and we can have a better economy as a result. Transportation, moving goods and services, advances all of our needs in the community and will provide a stronger, more robust Southeast Alaska. Something else that we're looking at is how do we harvest more of the tourism dollars that are coming to Juneau. Well, we know that the tram has been a very strong investment, providing job opportunities, but also providing strong business and profits for us to produce benefits for you. Well, as the large cruise ships bring a record 1.67 million people to Juneau this year, we see through the industry's own reporting to the City Assembly that it expects, even with the 5-ship cap every day, that it'll move as much as 2.5 million people in the next 10 years through Juneau. How do we get a part of that? How do we expand our business there? We believe that taking our unique knowledge in aerial tramway service and applying that to Eagle Crest through the gondola investment will allow us to get a piece of that action and expand our footprint in the visitor industry while protecting our current assets. We don't want anything to operate that is a competitor to us. We want to be involved in that and build a strong coalition and unity in the community. By developing Eagle Crest, that will be an outdoor, mountain biking, hiking, adventure type park. And then at the tram, we're focused on a more accessible, cultural focused engagement with tours and the totem walk around the cross, but also integrating that with the totems that Sea Alaska Heritage just put up on the dock. So we could have a tour that starts there, that goes up the tram, that walks around the totems in the totem loop, and people can have a beer at the trail house. And it's just a great experience and a great way to educate visitors about the culture that is so unique to the Tlingit people in Juneau, Southeast Alaska, and that Gold Belt can represent. CP Leasing is a business that we kind of pulled off the shelf to bring new life into it. With our newfound financial success, we have opportunities to better partner with businesses to leverage our books, our balance sheet, but also to grow our bottom line. And so we've partnered with Uncruise by buying a vessel and leasing it to them, with them buying it from us in 5 years. And we put that in CP Leasing. So Uncruise in the small cruise ship market has been very strong and profitable long before the big cruise ships have been in their rebound from COVID. And so we're excited about that. They're a 20+ year partner with Gold Belt, using the Seadrome Marina and stopping at Hobart Bay for small excursions. And we look forward to expanding this and expanding our income and providing greater benefits as a result. And we talked about the tram and its importance in tourism in Juneau. We want this to be a world-class destination. And so we're evaluating what type of renovations to make to the Mountain House to make it such. We did some renovations to the lower terminal during the COVID years. Were shut down. And that is so well received by our visitors and also by you. I hear lots of stories about working on the tram from people in our community. And it's just so excited to hear about that, see those pictures and the materials put to light and the displays going up the tram. And the lower terminal is just way better and way more customer friendly as a result. We're also looking to expand our transportation and bus services, where we extended our contract. Our contract was renewed by Kensington Mine. So we're providing security and transportation to that business for another 4.5 years. And with it, we've got new buses to move the miners in style, but we're also looking to provide busing service up to Eagle Crest for that gondola investment. And we're also looking to expand our catamaran fleet. You know, we have two, and everyone's very proud of the Gold Belt at Seawolf. What we want to do is add a new, hopefully Alaskan-built catamaran to allow us to provide some whale watching opportunities and also serve a dedicated route for Alaska Marine Highway small ferry service. Let's go to the next slide. Time for door prizes already. Well, before we jump to door prizes, I just want to say we're going to take questions and answers after this. So please type in your questions, type in anything, your comments. You know, I love engaging with you. I love seeing you in person. I love doing this part of our meeting. So share with me any questions you have. I want to answer those. And now we'll get to door prizes. So for all of you who are listening and watching, we have 5 $100 door prize winners. The first being Jamie Klushkan. Hopefully I'm saying that right, Jamie. The second is Reginald John. The third is Ruby Parks. The fourth is Vanessa White. And the fifth is Mary Uonic. Mary, it's so great. You won. This is awesome. You won a couple times that we've done this, and it was great seeing your son at the in-person shareholder meeting. He's grown so much, and it's really cool to see everybody grow and pursue their goals and dreams in life. The energy and the excitement from an 8th grader graduating and getting ready to go to high school is pretty fun. So thank you so much to all of the door prize winners, and I look forward to taking your questions now. So the first question that I have is from Desmona Stevic. What happened to Lady Baltimore? That's what she asks. Well, Lady Baltimore is the property of the Juneau Raptor Center. And the Juneau Raptor Center is a nonprofit 501c3 that has its federal license to care for these injured raptors, to rehabilitate and educate with them. Unfortunately, the Juneau Raptor Center did not survive COVID and had to shut its doors. And so what we're doing is we're working with the Sitka Raptor Center to try to fill that space to have an educational bird at the tram. And so because there's nobody certified to handle and own Lady Baltimore in Juneau, we've had to leave that empty until we have the deal worked out with Sitka. The Sitka Raptor Center, as you know, is very robust and has, releases rehabilitated wildlife from its, training center is the best way to describe it, a couple times a year. And so we're working with them to get a person in Juneau that can be the handler and continue to provide that visitor experience and fundraising opportunity, frankly, for the nonprofit up at the tram. The next question is from Elizabeth Watanabe. Thank you for the excellent updates. Any plans to create a zip line at Eagle Crest? Well, thank you so much for the question, Libby. It's great to hear from you, and thanks for watching. There's some ideas that we have, but about how to improve the adventure park system at Eagle Crest. But we want to make sure we prove out the gondola first. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. We think it's a great opportunity for mountain coasters, zip lines, suspension bridges, all that kind of stuff. But we want to make sure that we have a strong business plan, that it meets our pro forma goals and allows us to demonstrate success. And then what we want to do is build on that success. We think that Juneau is uniquely positioned to have a strong business model with the summertime, the green season at the ski hill, that will allow us to follow in the footsteps of places like Bogus Basin in Boise, Idaho, or Killington, Vermont. There's a great ski resort there that has a strong summertime activity as well as a wintertime activity. And same with, Whistler, British Columbia. A lot of those organizations and locations have robust summertime activities that more than make up for their wintertime activity. And they build a stronger business as a result. And that's what we're looking to do here. And that's where we think the profitable upside is for Gold Belt and why we're participating. So thanks for the question. I've got another one from Barbara Fujimoto. Thanks for asking the question, Barbara. Is there an update to working with Hunatotum on their dock in downtown Juneau? Yes, yes and no. So we are still interested in working with Hunatotum to develop the dock and the infrastructure, but we haven't finalized any of the details for that. As you know, Gold Belt, without having any net operating losses, was in a position to where if we received a gift in land from Norwegian Cruise Line, because Norwegian Cruise Line donated the $20 million parcel it bought, we would have to use our cash to pay for half of that. And so our taxable requirement on a gift of $10 million would be $2.1 million. And we didn't think it was appropriate to speculate on a piece of property without having more details first. So Hunatotum had the NOLs. They were able to take that and make a smart decision with it and accept that land. And they're in a good position to allow us to be more patient, work out the details with them. Our board, the Gold Belt Inc. board, has directed me to set up a meeting with Hunatotum's board and its leadership. And I'm working with CEO Russell Dick to make that happen. And it's going to be a pretty exciting development. We know that there's opportunity to be on the participating side of this tourism business and provide more outlets for you to choose culture as a career, but also to have a strong employment base in Juneau that'll pay for benefits for years to come. Thank you very much, Barbara. Geraldine Brown asked the next question. What's happening at Hobart Bay? Any more tourism plans in the future? You know, we're always aspirational about Hobart Bay. Unfortunately, the costs to do business there are so high. It's in the middle of nowhere. We'd have to develop some really significant infrastructure for, water and sewer, electricity, all the things that you need to run a large scale operation. And so far, it hasn't developed to that level yet. We do see small cruise ships stopping at Hobart Bay doing more intimate tours. And as we look to see what happens in the future and what could happen, we'll try to expand on that and make it something that's profitable and worthwhile to shareholders. I do want to say, though, shareholders are welcome to go to Hobart Bay. Just like you can go to the land you can access by road here in Juneau, whether it's on Douglas or out the road at Echo Cove. If you've got a boat and you want to go to Hobart Bay, go for it. We have a caretaker there. It's accessible. It's open. You are welcome to be there, and it's your land. And so all we ask is that you just give us notice and heads up. That way, we don't have people doing anything inappropriate or abusing the access. Also, if there's people hunting, we want to make sure we know about that so people stay safe. And our caretaker out there is able to help in case of any emergency. Thank you for asking that question, Geraldine. Marilyn Bondi asks, how do I find out about scholarships for my daughter for college? That's a great question. So we've moved all of our scholarship opportunities from Gold Belt Heritage to the Gold Belt Tanah Distributions Trust. And that information can be found at mygoldbelt.com. And it's not just scholarships for college that we offer. And I think this is really critical for everybody to know and for people to share. We offer scholarships for trade schools or for other classes that allow you to expand your educational base. We also offer scholarships for young people who are in, say, elementary school, middle school, or high school for extracurricular activities, things like karate or ballet, maybe even soccer, right? There are opportunities for you and your family to get access to these benefits. And I encourage you to use it. It's very important for you to use it because if you don't use it, it's just going to sit there. We have enough resources for everybody to use it and take advantage of it. Some people say, well, geez, I don't want to take resources from someone else who needs it. These are your benefits, and we have enough for everybody. So please sign up. Encourage everybody to use it. Tell your friends. We want you to enjoy the benefits that we work so hard to produce for you. That's the beauty of working at Gold Belt, is that we get to work for something bigger than ourselves. We get to work for you, an appreciative, loving, amazing group of owners, shareholders who are committed to making our community a better place This is your community. You were here long before it was ever called Juneau. And we know that moving forward, you will always be here. And together we can make this place everything we hoped it would be. All right, I'm off my soapbox. Let me answer another question. Tiffany LaRue asks, just wanted to express thanks for how seamless the scholarship process was this year. Well, you're welcome, Tiffany. I'm glad that worked out. You know, it's kind of new-ish in the to not trust. And so we are working out some of the kinks, but we want to make this as seamless and easy to use as possible so we can get more benefits out to all of you who have so rightfully deserved them. Geraldine Brown asks, who uses the Tram Theater? Do we receive any payment for that beautiful space? Well, kind of. We have the Tram Theater playing the regular video, and then we have dance groups that will go and perform there. And that's part of our attraction that gets more visitors up the tram. So they don't necessarily pay directly, but they do increase our value in our ticket, and they increase the number of people who can buy tickets. And so it's important for us to think about the tram as a business model. The tram has a fixed cost. We need X amount of people to run the tram, and we need to do the maintenance and all the stuff all year long. And so if we can figure out ways to increase the ticket price, then we just increase our net income, and we increase the amount of money we have to provide benefits to you. So that's kind of a roundabout way, a long way of explaining who uses and how we use the Tram Theater. The next question is from Barb Duncan. Barb, thanks for watching. I'm super happy you're participating. She asks, do scholarships apply to descendants? Some do and some don't. It's important to check and see which ones. I know that our college scholarships are for descendants. Some of our extracurricular activity scholarships are only for shareholders. So as you're looking through the details on mygoldbelt.com, please check and see which is which, and then donate a share or two to each one of your loved ones that need to participate. It's a great way to get them involved, and an easy way to get everyone aware and focused and see the importance of Gold Belt. We really want to make Gold Belt relevant in your life and in the lives of our young people, so they don't lose sight of why Gold Belt's important and continue to participate. Next question is from Michael Purser. Anything new for the youth? Well, you know, our scholarships were the newest things for the youth. We do have a cyber camp happening this summer. We also have cultural camp, and I think those are kind of intertwined this summer, and those are happening for the youth. It's also, it needs to be known that the YES Scholarship was created in 2021, but it was increased to $500 this year. So it has expanded. We have more opportunities, and that's new. And we're always looking for ways to provide benefits to our elders, the people who created Gold Belt, the original shareholders, while also providing benefits and incentive to stay involved with our youth. It's a great way and a great discussion that the board always has to look at how we manage our benefits. And my screen just went black, so let me make sure that I am good to go here and I can sign back in. Well, unfortunately, I'm having technical difficulties, so I apologize if you can still see me and you can hear me. I'm not able to answer any more questions, but it's been a real joy sharing this time with you. If you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer them by email, and I'll definitely see you at the annual meeting. We're having a virtual annual meeting this year, so we'll be conducting a similar Q&A and announcing the results of the election on July 8th of 2023. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you at the 49th annual meeting, Gold Belt Shareholders. Have a wonderful summer. Talk to you soon.